I just don't. I'm a little confused. When did we start normalizing Dick Cheney? I'm trying to think. All the money he made from Halliburton, all those scandals, sending innocent men and women to war, a pointless war, just to make a couple of million. Yeah, I'm sure the families of the Iraqi soldiers and the soldiers that fought for this country in Iraq over a senseless, disgusting, unnecessary war. I'm sure they're very upset that Dick Cheney passed away. I'm sure they're upset. It was funny because I believe this was the first thing that Dick Cheney heard when he ultimately passed away, and I think this was his first words that he heard upon passing away. But be that as it may, um, that being said, okay, that being said, Rachel Maddow, really? At Dick Cheney's funeral? Rachel Maddow, really? We're having MSNBC hosts there? Come on. Come on. And of course, they did invite Trump and Vance, and why would they? But my thing is, like, this is so disgusting. This is so, and this is the hypocrisy that I am seeing these last 2 days in politics. What I have seen hypocritically, it just takes the cake. There is an MS, and I'm going to say MSNBC because MS Now, that sounds like, MS 13 and all this stuff. And I don't know what MS Now is. It's stupid. It's stupid. MSNBC. There was this analyst on MSNBC that said Dick Cheney redeemed himself for the Iraq War by calling Trump a constitutional threat. So now they like him because he didn't like Trump. Isn't that sick? Isn't that absolutely sick? Like I just like to me, this guy was a warmonger. He was an awful human being. I don't know how he had so many heart attacks. I thought you have to have a heart to have a heart attack. But this guy, I mean, he is getting praised upon no end. And we're sitting there normalizing and bending over backwards for Bush and Cheney and all these guys. They put this country, they killed how many millions of Americans? Dick Cheney killed how many millions of Americans by convincing George W. Bush, who had no balls. And okay, yes, whatever Mr. Cheney says, yes, yes, yes. Because let's face it, Dick Cheney was president for 8 years, not George W. Bush. George W. Bush was the president on paper for 8 years. Dick Cheney ran this country. That's 100% the truth. Okay? That's why all the corporations got the money. That's why all the rich people got richer. And that's why we got sent to a war and we had millions of our men and women die because Dick Cheney thought, hey, you know what? Let's go to another war. Let's make some more money. Let's go to another war. Because nothing screams patriot. Nothing screams patriot like throwing people into a war when you have never served a day in your life and you will never serve a day in your life. But nothing screams patriot like that. Nothing. Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, he did shoot people that he didn't like, and he shot Quayle, and he shot people in the face. I mean, so he did have a shooting record, but just to sit here and normalize this guy, come on. So now what's the next thing? So now 30, 40 years from now, when someone comes in that people think are going to be worse than Trump, are they going to be doing this with Trump? Like that's the thing to me. It's just like how quickly we forget. This guy was the butt of all jokes. People would say that this guy was the devil. And now all of a sudden, because he did not like Donald Trump, oh, that's it. He's a hero. He's democracy's hero. He's a warmonger. That's what he is or was. Okay. And for anyone to sit here and think anything less, and to sit there and think that Dick Cheney was some sort of honorable man, I mean, I don't know what we're doing. And all the liberal media outlets are now they've become it's like the Twilight Zone. They've become Dick Cheney sycophants overnight. I never thought I'd see it. I never thought I'd see CNN rolling out the red carpet for Dick Cheney. MSNBC, all these, the ABC, NBC, CBS, they're like, oh, Dick Cheney, oh my God, the wonderful King Cheney. What? And if that wasn't the hypocrisy of the week. So Donald Trump said something that was, I thought was a little bit off. And yeah, I haven't, I'll be honest with you, I have not dove into this. I've just seen what he tweeted or put out on Truth Social. He's not on Twitter or X anymore. And it was like something about the I can't stand seditious behavior. It's punishable by death. So maybe not the best choice of words. And again, Donald Trump is somebody that someone has to be behind him at all times because he can't be posting stuff like this out. Because yes, I think he is an unhinged man. I really do. I really think that he does not know what he's saying half the time. And we cannot leave him alone with a BlackBerry because he's just going to be throwing stuff out and saying whatever's on his mind. And sometimes that's not the way to go, especially if you're the president of the United States. Okay, but you have Democrats going, I can't believe Trump said seditious behavior punishable by death. I can't believe he said that. These same people have called Trump Hitler and a Nazi. They shoot and assault ICE officers. They very well could have been the reason that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. They at least were celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Trump almost got killed twice, and they celebrated it. They blew up Teslas. They tried to kill Justice Kavanaugh. But tell me again, how about your social warriors? And also, Jay Jones in Virginia. All these Democratic lawmakers. I condemn what the president said. Listen, you can condemn what the president said. I think the president's a moron, and what he said I think was stupid. But the bottom line is, you had a guy running for office. Wasn't in office yet. Running for office, and we've played the stuff over and over again. We've gone through what Jay Jones said about shooting and killing his political rival and seeing his family die in someone's arms and then the kids dying and this and that. And they still warmed up to him. And nobody in the DNC or anyone said, you know what, Jay, you better drop out of the race. No one said anything. No one pulled any endorsements. No one did nothing because he was on our team. And that's the thing. That's the problem. It's all about the teams. And I've said it. I said it in the America the Hateful video. I said it, that video. You can go back and look it up. Okay? We only care about rape and sexual underage people and death and all this. We only care about it if the people from the other team are doing it. Because then if someone from our team does it, well, we don't want to talk about it. Like this moron Jasmine Crockett, who I hate with an undying passion. Okay? And no, it's not the fact that she's, because the classic line is, oh, well, you hate her because she's black. No, I don't. You can hate someone that's black, not because they're black. You can hate someone that's purple, not because they're purple. You just hate them because they're stupid. And Jasmine Crockett is stupid. Okay, and what she said, trying to set up Lee Zeldin, I got a gotcha question. I gotcha. Lee Zeldin, he had money donated by Jeffrey Epstein. Really? Then it comes out that it's not the Jeffrey Epstein. It's a Jeffrey Epstein. It's a doctor. But she was quick to say that, and her team Googled and her team did research, and they didn't have the time to sit there and kind of go over with a fine-tooth comb. However, she failed to mention that Hakeem Jeffries had major contact with Jeffrey Epstein, and was asking for money. But Jasmine, Little Jasmine Crockett didn't say that, any of that, because why would she? Because Hakeem Jeffries is on her team. And that's what makes me hate her even more. I would have had a little bit of shred of respect if she said, you know what? My guy also did it. I'm going to call him out. No, it's only when the other team does it, then we can call him out. And Republicans are the same way. Republicans are the same way. They both suck. The Democrats suck. The Republicans suck. I don't know how many times I have to say this. And people come in and go, oh, well, you're a Trumper. Oh, you hate Trump. No, I'm not a Trumper. I'm not an anti-Trump guy. I'm just someone that loves the country, wants to see the country succeed. And I want to be able to retire in a couple years, okay, and be in a country to retire to. But if we keep electing these morons, we're not going to have a country in 30 years. Don't you see that? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't. And like I said, the Crockett thing was the latest thing. Was the latest hypocrisy. And then doubling down, not even taking it. Well, you know it's bad as a Democratic lawmaker when The View is holding you accountable. The View. They're putting your feet to the fire over this. Come on. What are you doing? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. This is just make sense common again.